welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate your patience here this morning. Your boy's got a little bit of a back strain going on, and I don't know what the heck is happening, but I appreciate you for being here. I thank you so much for being a part of the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Of course, we are inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, for their new and used vehicles, vast array of vehicles from the Accord to the Civic to the Prologue, as well as the HRV, my favorite, the CRV, the Odyssey, the Ridgeline, and more. Of course, you will find so many things. And the Pilot, want to mention the Pilot as well. You'll find so many things at Great Lakes Honda City, right there on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Make sure you head over there today. They're open Monday through Saturday, and you can find out more information about their vehicles as well as so many more things on GreatLakesHondaCity.com. You can get the sales number, the service number right there on GreatLakesHondaCity.com. So make sure you head over there today, and like I said, let them know that DT sent you when you go into Great Lakes Honda City. We appreciate you so much, to the whole team over at Great Lakes Honda City. With that being said, we are here with you around the country and the world on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So we thank you for being with us. And of course, once the show goes live, we hop into the archives, and I just added a bunch to the archives yesterday. You can go to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search one word, Wake Up Call DT, or search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and you will find us on your podcasting platforms, and on Podbean alone, over 1,600 episodes. So make sure that you go ahead and find us. It is free to find us on these wonderful channels, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and stay with us on all of these wonderful podcasting platforms. We thank them so much. So, with that being said, we got a jam-packed show inside Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics for each broadcast. We have the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, which starts off every single Friday show, followed by followed by Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Top Dog, I'm excited. So Top Dog is coming after Lead. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by the great team led by owner-operator Jim Sikowski over at Chick-fil-A Cicero. And then we'll have the Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding here on the broadcast. And we'll round out today's show around 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, as Duke Pettijohn will be joining me. Duke Pettijohn joining me to speak on such an awesome experience for him and his family. His son, Riley Pettijohn, who was wildly recruited all over the country, decided on Ohio State. He's an early enrollee going in there here at the start of 2025. And him and his family got to experience Ohio State's run all the way to the national championship. So his son made a commitment. His son is going to Ohio State, and then they got to see the school that his son will be playing at here win a national championship, and they were on the road to that. They were at the national championship game, as was I, so we'll talk about their experience coming up here in just a little while with Duke Pettijohn. So a lot of great stuff coming up where sports meets life. We're going to get things started with the Annoying Moment of the Week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The Annoying Moment of the Week for this week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I could go to a bunch of different places. I say that all the time. You know, there's a bunch of different things that I can do. And one of them was very strange to me. And I'm not going to tell you what the place was. Good morning to Jerry. Hope you're feeling better, brother. So I'm not going to say where I went, but there was a place in the airport, and one of the airports I was in, and I went to this establishment, and I had a gift card to this company. And those that know me know that I'm notorious for not using my gift cards. So I've been trying to use my gift cards. So I went and brought my gift card over to this establishment, and they said, nah. They said, that's that. It's not us. And it was the same company, but the company has shortened its name. So I had a gift card that had the shorter name on it. They have the regular name. They're like, yeah, that's different than us. We're not that. That's something else. And then I was, and to me, I was like, what is that even? You're the same company. You're the same company and you changed your name. And so they wouldn't let me use the gift card. And I was like, okay, strange. But it reminded me of a story. And the story that it reminded me of was my mom and I went into a retail store. And we went into this retail store years ago, and this girl came in and she tried to return a bike. And the bike had come from that store online. And so she went to return the bike, and she brought the bike into the store, and they said, you can't return the bike here. And she said, why? And they said, because we're the store, that's the store online. And she's like, right, but you're the same company. Like, if you buy in the store, you buy online, the company still gets the money, right? So it's the same company, money going to the same place. And they're like, yeah, but that's the online. You got this online with us. You didn't get this in our store, so we can't take this in our store. You have to figure out how to send that bike back to us, in whatever warehouse or whatever it may be on the internet. So here's this girl with this bike, rolled the bike in, and they said, our company is not the company that you're in right now that also is online. It's like me saying to somebody that sees me in public, oh, I'm Wake Up Call, but I'm not wakeupcalldt.com. But I am. And if I was selling something on wakeupcalldt.com and I was selling something at an event, let's say I was selling a t-shirt for Wake Up Call. If I was selling it on my website and I was selling it in person and then you got it, but you got the wrong size, it would be like me not taking it back from you in person and telling you to go to the internet because the internet is different than my company, even though if you buy it off the internet or you buy it off of me, it all comes back to me. So it made no sense whatsoever. But modern technology, just simple things that I feel like people, and it's customer service. Really what I'm talking about is customer service, right? It comes down to, why do people make things so difficult in customer service these days? Why are people trying to make things hard on other people? Not giving, if somebody gets something that they don't want, right? Or they're trying to return something, or let's say, their aunt got them something and it doesn't fit, and so they're trying to bring it back. But in order to bring it back, they don't have the receipt because they got it for Christmas. I mean, I remember I tried to return a shirt to the same company that wouldn't take this bike. I tried to return a shirt to this company, and they're like, yeah, that's the shirt, but it's not the same because that's a medium and this is a large. And I was like, I don't want the large. But this shirt, you bought this shirt at this time and it's like, why people do that? I have no, you want to look at someone and go, it's the same shirt. Well, it's not the same shirt. This one's a little bit more gray than that. I forgot what the woman exactly said to me, but it's just really stupid conversations where it's like, hey, I came into your store. My aunt bought me the wrong size. Well, you can go get it if it's the same shirt. Well, what if I just go get a shirt that's the same price? You got to get the same shirt. Why do I have to get the same shirt? What if she bought me the wrong shirt and the wrong size? Back in the day, if somebody bought you something and you didn't want it, let's say it was a $15 t-shirt. You went back and they gave you $15 in cash. They didn't give it in store credit, so they forced you to be there. They gave you $15 in cash to either leave and go buy gas or eggs or, God forbid, something your family needs, or buy another t-shirt or buy socks or whatever you want. They used to just give you money back. You know what I mean? Put it back on your credit card, give you cash. Now it's got to be a whole conversation. And by the way, the same company that wouldn't take the bike and was weird with the t-shirt, it's the same company that gives out cash, right? Some companies give out money to you. There's a bunch of different companies that do this, and they give out cash. Well, my dad returned something before I used my cash there, so they deducted it off the cash of the total price. So I thought like I had $20 in cash, and I went there and they're like, nah, it's only 10, because they like when my dad returned it, they're like, well, then he's not getting that cash back. So in the when you get like the so much money off, so we had made the purchase weeks before, and when he returned that thing, they went in and took from the money that the promotional money that we had, took it back, part of it. And to me, I'm just like, it's insane. It's insane. It's insane, and it's ridiculous. And nobody was trying to ruin the system or mess with the system. I mean, this poor woman that brought this bike back, she was literally looking at them going, I don't have a box. Like, how am I supposed to bring this bike back to the internet? You know what I mean? And imagine saying that to like a 90-year-old woman, right, who's returning a bike that she got for her grandchild, and, you know, her daughter's at work. The kid's 4. The kid's not going to return the bike. The daughter's running around. So grandma tries to return the bike, do a good deed, because she feels really bad that her grandson doesn't have, you know, grandson doesn't have the bike that they want, right? And then this company says, you got to return it to the internet. We can't take it to the internet. But we're the same company. And if you bought the bike in here, we could take it. But you bought the bike.com. Stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's crazy. And the thing is, like, you have to believe when you go into a place now, because people don't trust people, you have to go into a place hoping that somebody will hear your story and know that you're not lying. And know that you have no malice, you have no desire to steal from the company, you know. But here's the thing. If you create laws that allow people to steal and not get punished, and steal and not go to jail, and steal and not have to pay it back, why are you surprised that people steal from you? You know, I'm not trying to steal from you. But you've made it so easy for people to steal from you, so now you don't trust anybody. So now when an upstanding citizen comes into your building and wants to return something or wants to exchange something, you got to be weird because you don't trust nobody. Well, why don't you tell the people at the top of your company to change up the game here and start punishing people that steal stuff? You know, back in the day, you stole a pair of jeans, you ran to the front door, somebody had the right to chase you down, chase you in the parking lot, and take those jeans back. I got companies that have told me years ago, pre-COVID, they're like, if somebody takes something out of our store policy is, if they walk to the door and they walk out, oh well. I said, what if they walk out with $200? Well, then we lose $200. What if they walk out with $900? Well, they lose $900. I mean, that's such a stupid policy. If people knew about that policy, they'd be going and taking everything. So, you know, crimes are theft, burglary, you know. Yeah, you steal something. It's one of the 10 commandments, for goodness sake. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. So let's not do that. How about that? And how about when somebody comes in and is like, I don't want this shirt, I'm going to get another one. You don't make it like Fort Knox trying to break into some National Treasure movie type of tomb to get something that was written on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Just give us whatever, store credit and the money, and let us leave, you know? It's like you punish people. Well, you didn't want the shirt and you don't shop in the store, but I'm going to give you $20 store credit because you have to shop in the store, even though you don't like shopping here and we don't treat you well and we confuse the heck out of you. But because your aunt came to this store and bought a t-shirt, you got to buy a t-shirt or something else from this store that you don't want to be in, that nobody treats you with any type of respect in here because we just want the money no matter what. So you can either keep that t-shirt that you don't want, or you can keep this $20 credit that you don't want, or you could buy something up to $20. I remember one time I bought something and they're like, yeah, you owe us $1. And I was like, bro, just, what are you going to do with it? You know, you owe us $1. Okay. Like, it's just, well, with the tax. Oh, okay. So, you know, that's why I like supporting I love supporting local business because, I mean, if they're an upstanding business owner, right, then they're not, hopefully they're not going to ring you through. I mean, I'm sure there's some that do, but, I like to support local business, small business. And when I'm going to a big box place, I mean, it doesn't matter where I go. If I got to go somewhere, I want you to treat me with respect. I want you to have good customer service. I want you to get off your stupid cell phone, and I want you to help me. Okay? That's what I want. It's ridiculous. People have been programmed that they don't have to work and they can just sit home and get money. And when you build a society without personal responsibility, without the desire to work, and without the feeling that they have to do anything because you've told them that they don't, that's the problem with things, is that COVID was a really hard time and we had to navigate through it. But you have to, when you're going through something that takes people out of work, your plans have to be to get them back in, not to keep them there and just hand them stuff for free. And when you do that, and it's funny how people are like, I got a $600 check. Why are my eggs so expensive? You thought that money wasn't going to come back to you somehow? You get a $600 free check. It ain't free. Gas went up. Eggs went up. Groceries in general went up. Cereal, all that stuff, it went up. I was just talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. He said coffee and candy are up 40%. 40%. 40%. Not 40%. Why? COVID happened 2020, it's 2025. They're up 40%. Why? Well, because you got to offset, right? If the government gives you free money and you're like, damn, cool, I got free money. You didn't get free money. You got money, and then they charge more for all the stuff you need to buy. So you really didn't get free money. It's going to equal out somewhere. And that's what people don't understand. You go to work, you earn it. That's how I was raised. You go to work, you earn it. And when you build a society where people don't feel like they have to work, and this is what I find to be hilarious, we complain. Why are the lines so long? Why do we go into stores now and they used to have registers on both sides, now they only have registers on one side? Why is it all digital? Why is there nobody up there? Why is there no human being I could talk to? We created that because the people that decided that they were going to hand out this money and force and have people stay at home and brainwash these people to think they don't have to work. And now these people don't have to work, so now they're not working, and then they want to complain. The irony is someone who sits at home who can earn a living and chooses not to, who's capable and chooses not to, and then they go to a movie theater and then they complain that there's only 2 people working when 10 people should be at the movie theater. Why are you complaining? They're sitting at home like you. They're sitting at home just like you. But everywhere you go to a movie theater, 1 person. 1 person? What happens if something happens? Do you know how many places I've gone to where I'm like, y'all need 20 people, you got 3? Even the airports, folks. The airports. We need 20 people to get these planes out. We have 3. And everybody's wondering why the plane's so late. And they can't get anything done. You think those 3 people are going to kill themselves for the 17 people that didn't care? They're not going to kill themselves. They're going to be sitting there going, well, if they're sitting at home, why am I not sitting at home? What was their excuse? Me too. I said years ago, we are creating a society of people who may already not want to work, not want to fight, not want to go out there and do the best that they can. And now you're telling them, be weak, sit at home, do nothing, play video games, and you hand them money. And you think that those people, once you give away something to somebody and tell them you don't have to do anything, but you're going to get rewarded for doing nothing. Once you do that once, they're going to expect it twice, 3 times, and for the rest of their life. And then when you try to get them back to work, everybody's going to get angry about it. Why? Because that's not how life works. And I'm glad that I had parents that raised me and grandparents that raised me and people around me that raised me that if you want good grades, earn them. If you want money, work. If you want to achieve your dreams, go after them. Don't be sitting on the couch waiting for somebody to call you up and make it happen. And why are we surprised? Why are we surprised at what we created? This country used to work hard. And then we had leadership that said, you don't have to do nothing. And now people don't want to work. And now lines are longer and places are closing and things are more stressful and more annoying. And now you're pissed off because you go to the grocery store and your line's longer and your eggs cost more. Why are we surprised? We the people. Is that not how the Constitution is written? We the people. We the people. There's more of us than there are of the leaders. If we don't like what they're doing, we have a right to say something, and we have a right to peacefully stand against that. So, wake up, people. Because if you're pissed off that the restaurant takes too long, and the movie theater don't have anybody here, and the gas station, I don't know who I can ask a question to, ain't nobody here, don't be surprised when there's not enough people to handle the people. Because that decision was made to make it easy to sit home and do nothing. And then when you finally go to those people, oh, this is the internet, this ain't us. Well, do you get the money of the people that buy on the internet? Well, of course. Well, if you get my money on the internet and you get my money in person, then you can take this bike in person and I'll see you on the internet. We'll take a step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll be back right after this. That was the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Here with you, and it's now time to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Today's topic, on his time. On his time. Now, Jerry sent a nice message. Thank you, Jer. John said, "Good morning. This is a very good program you talked about this morning. Thank you," from Florida. You're welcome, John. Appreciate you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. So lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. That is the acronym. And Chick-fil-A Cicero brings it to you every single Friday here on Wake Up Call in hour number 1. Topic today, on his time. Whose time? God's time. Well, I'm notorious for not listening to God's timing. I am. I have tried to force things to happen in really one sector of my life more than anything else. And when it comes to love, I always want to have a family. I always want to have a wife. And, I just push that, right? Push it, force it, try to make it happen. And it's never happened. The forcing it to happen doesn't work. So when I look at this topic, God's timing, to me, this is something that comes up in my life a lot. Am I giving God the time to do this? Because whether I give it to him or not, he's going to take it, right? He's God. He's not a human being, and people forget that. God is not human. God is not out here thinking like we do. God's not out here being late to things. God's not out. We think God is late. God didn't give me what I want because God is late. He don't care. He's late to me. God's not late to you. God's doing it on his time. And you might not be ready. Maybe God wanted to give it to you, but you needed to get ready for it. Are you ready for what God's about to give you? Maybe God's sitting here saying, hey, you wanted this 5 years ago, and you weren't ready 5 years ago, and you're still not ready. So I want to give it to you, but I can't. And you need to be ready for me to give this to you, because once I give it to you, I want you to be able to hang on to it. I want you to be able to keep it. But I can't trust that you can keep it right now, and that's why I'm not giving it to you. Sometimes we think God's timing is off, when in actuality, God may be ready, but we're not. God might be wanting to give it to you, but you're not ready. Could you imagine going to heaven and God saying, man, you're 39 years old, and you're like, why don't I have a wife and kids? And I wanted to give it to you at 29, and I had her ready, but you weren't ready. You were dating the wrong girl. You blocked my blessing. You blocked me. Could you imagine? We talk about God, say God didn't do this, God didn't do that. Could you imagine if God turned around one day and said, I tried to do it, but you blocked me? I tried to do it, but you were sinning. I tried to do it, but you weren't open. I tried to do it, but you were jaded. I tried to do it, but you were angry. I tried to do it, but you weren't listening. Could you imagine? God, I'm 40 years old. How come I don't have the job I want? Because at 25, you had a crossroad and you didn't listen to me. So I had to help you find your way back to that road. And finding your way back took time. And that's why. That's why you don't have it yet. If we could only imagine that sometimes when we think God is so late, it's actually us that are holding him up. Because we didn't get to where we need to get to. It's always on God, right? It's always on God. I don't have money, God, why? I don't have a wife. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I can't have kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. People in the Bible thought they couldn't have kids. They had kids. Miracles happen every day. People in the Bible said, I can't heal. I'm going to die. Jesus said, no, you're going to be healed. He brought Lazarus back from the dead. Okay? So, for us to sit here today and say, why didn't God do this? And why didn't God do that? And why didn't God help me with this? And I can't believe he messed up this and he messed up that. Maybe he's saying, yo, get ready. I'm trying to give it to you. You ever feel like you're almost there? You get that feeling inside of you like, I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's on its way. I feel like it's almost there. But you don't know why it's not there yet. You don't know why it hasn't come yet. And you're wondering and you're wondering and you're wondering and you don't know why it hasn't come through yet because you feel like it's right there. Maybe it's you that needs to get ready for that. God's timing is perfect. And if I've learned anything in my life about complaining about, God, why don't I have this and why don't I have that and why don't I have this? If I've learned anything, it's that I didn't have it because he didn't want me to have it. It wasn't my time to have it. I wasn't ready for it. When I look back on my life, I'm 39 years old. I'm like, why don't I have a wife and kids? And I look back and I say, because the entire time that you've dated, you have not been ready. There were things you needed to work on. There were things you needed to do to be better to yourself, to be better to others, to be understanding, to be calm, to be compassionate. Habits to get rid of, habits to bring in. And you're still learning. So if she's not here yet, keep learning. Instead of blaming God and saying, why don't I have this? How about we say, God, what do I need to do? If I'm not there for you yet, what do I need to do to get there for you? What can I do to help you? Not just give me what I want, but what can I do to help you, God? Go about your life. Do what you could do. Control what you could control. You can't control when you're going to meet Mrs. Right or Mr. Right. You can't control when you're going to have kids. You can't control if that place is going to call you for that job. You can't control if that house is going to happen. All you can do is put in a bid for the house, make a phone call for the job, send in your resume, ask that girl out, ask that guy out, try to have a kid, go to the doctor, make sure everything's good, everything's working. There's things you can do and there's things that you can't. But as human beings, if for some odd reason, we love to try to play God. I'm going to make myself have kids. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to read up on this. I'm going to eat this herb. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. We need to pray. We need to work hard. We need to work smart. We need to relax sometimes. And we need to be patient. Relax and be patient. Nobody likes people that are all high-strung, bouncing off the walls everywhere all the time. Relax. Be patient. That doesn't mean take away your excitement. That doesn't mean take away your adventure. That doesn't mean take away your positive energy. That means just relax, reboot, refocus. Okay? Having a baby shouldn't be stressful. Finding Mr. or Mrs. Right shouldn't be stressful. Chasing after your job shouldn't be stressful. There are stressors, but that doesn't mean you need to be stressful. There's always going to be stress, right? You get the woman that you want, you don't have the job that you want. You got the job that you want, you don't have the man that you want. You got the man that you want, but you got one kid and you're struggling to have a second kid. You want to go on vacation, you don't have money for that vacation, so you got to do a different vacation. So you go on that vacation, but you're thinking about the other place that you wanted to go. Be happy where you are. I just got home from being on the road on and off for a month and a half, and I loved every single moment of it. Even when I was feeling a little under the weather, I loved every single moment of it. But I also love the fact that I'm home with my dog. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm not on the road anymore. Oh. I'm looking at this thing going, you knew when you were going to be on the road and you knew when you weren't going to be. So now that you're not on the road anymore, turn your focus to your little baby, to your dog, to your pup, to your daughter. Love her up. Spend time with her because she missed you and you missed her. And when you were on the road, you thought about her all the time. And now that you're home, don't neglect that. Right? We think about things all the time. Man, we're away from something. We miss it. Then we get it. And we're like, ah. And then we leave again and we miss it again. How about you enjoy it when you got it? I'm a big proponent of that. If I'm in your presence and you don't appreciate my presence, I will excuse my presence from your presence. And what do you say? Oh, man, well, I miss you now. I can't believe you left. You can't believe I left. You were on the phone the whole damn time. I'm not going to sit there and have dinner with you on the phone. Absolutely not. You yelled at me. You treated me rudely. I'm not going to be around you. What person wants to be around someone who ignores them, yells at them, disrespects them, puts them down, ignores them? If you want to change the things that that are happening in your life, if you want to change those things, you can't change those people, okay? But you can not go over there, not answer that phone, not put yourself in that presence. God's timing. Okay, he's going to do what he's going to do. But that doesn't mean we sit and wait. Keep living, keep doing things, keep going out there, keep being the best you could be. Yeah, I want to find the love of my life. Am I going to stop walking my dog? Am I going to stop hanging out with my family? Am I going to stop laughing with my friends? Am I going to stop chasing my dreams and doing the things that I love? Live your life. Don't go, God, this is what I want, and this is all that's on my mind, so I'm going to stop everything else. Because then when that person finds you, oh, look at you. You ostracized yourself from your family. You're not hanging out with your friends. You're not spending time with your dog. You've become a shell of yourself. No, God wants you to be at your best at all times. And he knows you're going to have a tough day, but try to be at your best. When we get sick, you know how we're like, oh man, when I feel better, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then we feel better and we don't. Oh man, I'm away from home. When I get home, I'm going to love up my daughter and I'm going to hug my son and I'm going to do this and that. I'm going to take him to play baseball and I'm going to take her and I'm going to do... And then we don't. We keep asking God for what's coming next. What's next on the clock? Where is your timing on this? Instead of going, God, thank you for all the blessings that I have. Thank you for everything that's in my life right now. I'm going to enjoy this plate of blessing instead of sitting here and asking you when the next plate's coming. Be blessed, y'all. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. And we thank the entire team at Chick-fil-A Cicero, led by the wonderful Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. Go out and see them today. There's Chick-fil-A and there's Chick-fil-A Cicero, which to me is a step above. On his time, today's topic in lead. We'll be back right after this with the top dog of the week. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports, pardon me, truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate you being here inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York is open for you Monday through Saturday. For more information and to see their vehicles, go to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That is GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Their sales and service numbers are there for you as well. And of course, you can look through their vast array of vehicles of all different sizes, from the Accord to the Civic to the Prologue, as well as the HRV, the CRV, the Pilot, the Odyssey, the Ridgeline. So many great new and used vehicles on the lot at Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. A proud partner of Wake Up Call for over a decade now. You knew them as Honda City of Liverpool, now Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. We'll see you there. Top dog of the week this week. That's right. Top dog coming to you from the wonderful Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. There is no better place to bring your dog for short and long-term care than Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, led by the wonderful, beautiful soul that is Miss Lorraine. And over at Canine Camp Dog Daycare, you can get more information by calling 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to get in touch with Canine Camp Dog Daycare. You can get more information on the daycare by going to k-9kamp.com. And for dog boarding, if you need your dog to be somewhere overnight and for multiple days or a day or two, you can go to Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Call them up because their cabins fill in fast. That's right. Every dog gets their own cabin at Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, and their number is 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. And you can get more information by going to Kamp, ground.com. And of course, they're both in East Syracuse, and the daycare is visible right there from the road. You can see them coming off the highway, the thruway, off Erie Boulevard, centrally located across the street from BJ's, right off of Bridge Street for the daycare and the campground. They bring you the top dog of the week every single week, and my top dogs are those friends and family members that don't wait for you to call. They call you up. And that doesn't mean don't call them, but those people that always make you feel seen, make you feel appreciated, make you feel heard, and that you were thought about. Those that are just always there. Don't neglect them. Like I said, remember how we get a plate of a bunch of blessings, and we, instead of appreciating the plate, we say, God, where's the next plate coming from, and who's going to be on that plate, and what's going to be on that plate? What am I getting? What blessings are coming my way? Instead of appreciating the blessings that you have in the moment. Well, it is a blessing to have people that think of you, that appreciate you, that put you first. And I'm grateful for every single one of those people in my life. And I just messaged one of those people that is in my life that always makes me feel seen and appreciated and thought of. And I absolutely cannot thank her enough for that love and that support that she brings to me. The positivity, the reminder of somebody being like, I see who you are, I know who you are, I know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Someone that truly sees me for me. And I appreciate that very, very much. So I just want to give a shout out to all of those wonderful people in our lives. They could be a family member, they could be a total stranger, it could be the love of our life, it could be a good friend, a brother, sister, whoever. But those people that let us know, I was thinking of you, I care about you, I just wanted to see how your day was going. Somebody who remembers that you had that doctor's appointment. Somebody who remembers that you had that job interview today. Someone who was thinking of you on their own, unprovoked by you, and just wanted to see how you're doing. My buddy Kevin Green, who sends me messages every weekday? And Kevin, I need to respond more. Today, his message was on God's timing, and my topic today was God's timing. So, how perfect was God's timing on that? And so, I mean, there's moments like that that are all too perfect and all too beautiful. And then Paige, who sent me a really sweet message about who I am and what she sees in me and, you know, what I do and how I do it and how she appreciates that. So, whoever you have in your life that takes the time to call you, to text you, that remembers about your job interview, thinks about you, thinks about somebody you don't have to call to say, you know, my aunt got through her surgery. My grandma's doing better. This is where, I just got off the plane, this and that. Those that know, those that remember, those that care, and those that take the time. Thank them and appreciate them because they are the top dogs. The people that help you to feel seen, the people that put you first under God, the people that remember, the people that take the time. The top dogs of the week are those that call you, text you, and spend time with you. And that have the impromptu conversations like Duke and I last night. I called up Duke. He didn't know I was calling him. I didn't text him before. And we talked on the phone for almost an hour, having a conversation to just catch up, see how things were going, talk about a bunch of different topics. And almost an hour on the phone from an impromptu conversation. Those people are the people that you need to appreciate in life. The ones that you can call, the ones that pick up, and the ones that'll sit there and they're not too busy for you. They don't have too much going on. They don't have this. There's no excuse. It's just, hey, man, what's up? How you been? Isaac, all the time. Mom and Dad. So appreciate your top dogs, those that take the time in their lives to just be there in your presence and appreciate you. Shout out to those top dogs. With that being said, we got Duke Pettijohn who's coming up here, and we're going to be bringing in Duke picture in picture. So we're waiting on the picture to come in, and now we can see it. And so Duke Pettijohn here with me on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You know him from his time at Syracuse and just going out there and making days really difficult for quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers and linemen. It didn't matter. If somebody was in this man's way, you're going to get out the way. And now his son is going into Ohio State as a linebacker, and Riley Pettijohn is going to be out there wreaking havoc himself. The Pettijohn family had the opportunity, as we have an early enrollee in Riley going into Ohio State this year, they had the opportunity to be with the Buckeyes on their road to a national championship, and we all stood on the same fields at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic and at the national championship game, and I'm here with Duke to talk about this awesome moment with his family as his son embarks on his own collegiate football journey. Duke, how we doing?
I'm doing good, Dan. How you doing?
Doing very well. And I mean, for you, bring me into kind of how all this came about, because obviously Riley's story is yet to be written. So what was it with the family when you found out Ohio State was going to be in this thing? What made you and the family decide, like, hey, we're going to ride through this with them and we're going to see what happens?
Well, we having a little insight, from visiting, meeting with the coaches, and we knew, they would go on a run, despite what happened against. They had pieces and the people in place to, shore up, some weak spots and, and tend for the natty. So after the Tennessee game, we were like, it was probably like halftime of the Tennessee game. We were like, hey, if they're making a road, bro, we should go. That's right, like we wanted to go. He was like, yeah. So we were going to go before they reached out and said that they wanted Brewerton Rd out. So it just all worked out. It's been an unbelievable experience.
Now, you said you had a feeling, a little inside track that, like, yeah, okay, they lost to Michigan, but there was the notion that they were going to make a run. What made you believe that despite not playing in the Big Ten championship that Oregon and Penn State played in and losing to Michigan, what made you believe through all of that? They're not Big Ten champions. They don't play in the game. They lose to a Michigan team that had a bunch of losses this year and was just around 500. Why did you believe that they were going to make a run?
Well, one, their record. Two, there's a lot of parity, in college football this and with the intensity of that rivalry, it can go either way. So I mean, putting you know the season on that one loss, at that point in time after playing, so well, would have been ridiculous. So, that and, all the other forecasts, let us know that, they'll be in the playoffs and they'll be competitive. And the reason why we were confident in that they would make a strong one was the same reason we were comfortable with Riley choosing to play at Ohio State. Pedigree of the coaches, believe in, Ryan Day as a coach, as a leader to make the adjustments, that are going to improve his team, and he has the staff in place to execute all it. And that's what you saw. That they got better in, critical places. The O line was decimated, all season. They fought through that and actually played a high level of football, through this. And I think they're the unsung heroes, of this ride, the offensive line. Then the defense just went to another level.
Yeah, and the defense, I mean, obviously went out there and did their thing and were incredible. You being on this road, I want to start in the college football playoff in that first round. Ohio State is the 8 seed, Tennessee's the 9 seed, so they just squeak a little bit above Tennessee, which changes the entire game for either team because the first round is home field, and that first round being able to host it, it's a difference between playing in front of 100,000 plus people and, most of them are your people, or, playing on the road and seeing, that dull orange color, that yellow-orange color, and those fans instead of seeing the vibrant red. What did that mean? Like when you saw it come out and you saw Ohio State was in that 8-9 and they're the last team essentially that gets to play a home game in the decision making of the at-large, just what that did in your opinion that Ohio State was going to be playing at home against Tennessee.
Oh, that's huge. It's huge for any team to, get a home playoff game. And, take that momentum of the fans and want to, and really focused on righting the ship, and you get to do it at home. It just gives you, another dose of confidence. So, that was huge. I felt bad for, a couple other, that bracket, Oregon, having to go through such a hard, side of the bracket, but they're still working the kinks out of that 12-game playoff, which I liked it, as a whole. But anything new, you do have to tweak as it goes along. But I think with the season that they had, they deserve to at least have a home playoff game.
Yeah, and when you look at this, and like you said, the 12-team playoff, and you mentioned that you like it, you like the bracket and whatnot. Do you want to see a change to this? I mean, Ohio State was an 8 seed, right? And they make it to the end. Notre Dame was a 7 seed. They make it to the end. They were both at large. Ohio State didn't win a conference championship, didn't play in the conference championship of the Big Ten. Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, but they both make it to the end. The top 4 seeds were the top 4 highest ranked conference champions. Every single one of them lost after waiting through the first round. We saw number 1 undefeated Oregon lose to Ohio State in round number 2. We saw that Georgia lost, be it they didn't have Carson Beck, but still I don't take anything away from Notre Dame and their defense as well as what the offense did, because Carson Beck doesn't play offense and he didn't play special teams. So we saw what happened in that game against Notre Dame for 2 Georgia. We saw Boise State, a 3 seed, do some things in the first half against Penn State and ultimately lose. And then Arizona State with Cam Skattebo and the rest of the team that was out there. And, Sam Leavitt, their quarterback, and the work that they did to try and make that a game. And it was an instant classic in the Peach Bowl. But ultimately that 4 seed lost. So what are your thoughts for the future of the college football playoff? Do we make the top 4 buys the top 4 highest ranked teams, even if they're all from the same conference or similar conference, or do we keep it at conference champion?
Yeah, that's a good question. 'Cause I don't want to, discount conference champions, right? But you put Ohio State in the conference with any of those, Arizona, Boise, and they win that conference. Can't say the same for those two schools. So I think there is a need for conference champions, and but I think there were stronger 9-3 teams that, in my opinion, would have been better suited for the playoffs than a couple of those conferences. And that's me saying it as a former player, and I know it sucks to be on that side, and when they don't count that, but if they come up with another way for them, was to be conference championship and strength of schedule, determines the seed. I would say go somewhere along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, you don't want to discount a conference champion. It's just interesting to see how things kind of shook out. And granted, Georgia, like I said, didn't have their quarterback, but we talked about that first.
Florida State didn't have a quarterback and didn't go at all. So
right, and
at least they got it.
Right, and that was the thing. And you know what? You bring up a good point. And I brought up this point a couple weeks ago. I said, does Florida State have more of a reason to have a gripe with the college football playoff? Last season, they go undefeated. They won a game without their quarterback, without Jordan Travis. They won the ACC championship. So the committee got to see the team without their quarterback. The committee did not get to see Georgia without Carson Beck. So right. Georgia gets in. They win the SEC. And they get, what'd you say?
They saw him a little bit against Georgia Tech.
Right. So, I mean, you got to see him at the end there. And then Carson Beck came in with kind of a lame right arm and just handed the ball off.
Handoff.
But Florida State goes undefeated. The committee sees them with Jordan. They see them win a championship in a conference without Jordan in the ACC, which is supposed to be a quote-unquote power conference. They see that happen, and they leave an undefeated conference champion out and got to see them win a game without the guy that was injured. In the case of Georgia, they don't see him without Carson Beck. They put him as a 2 seed, and not only is there no punishment, they're considered one of the top 2 teams in the country. If you were Florida State and you were Mike Norvell and you were upset last year, do you use?
Oh, hot.
Are you hot right now?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, because it's blatant favoritism, right there. And the argument was so strong, from all the analysts, at ESPN and other places, that they don't have their quarterback. That's why they're not going. We know what's going to happen, and, blah blah blah. And I mean, it was just like, almost shut up. That's why they're not going. Stop complaining. It's about, but they have almost the same exact scenario this year, and it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, not even brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be hot, man.
So we see that it happens. That precedent was created with Florida State last year, and no issue whatsoever this year with Georgia. I want to stick with Florida State for a second here. They didn't take a national championship opportunity away from Florida State, and that was it. They took that away, but then Jordan Travis finishes his eligibility, so he's not coming back, so he can never make a run again. And the players on that team go to the NFL, they transfer, and they leave, and now people say, well, Florida State was so good last year, why do they stink this year? Well, 1, they don't have Jordan Travis, and 2, you have to take into account the guys that left that program because of the decision made by the College Football Playoff Committee. So do you think that Florida State is a Mike Norvell problem, or do you think that this was a domino effect from the decision to keep them out?
I think it was it might be a little bit of I'm not like a problem for not like Norvell's a problem. I think he like this year he went with the wrong people in the portal, namely the quarterback. I think there were much better quarterbacks that he had available to him that would have been more effective in that offense for Florida State than the guy that they picked up. I think that was the biggest mistake, so to speak. But everybody, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
We had his reasons for choosing him, and unfortunately they found out that probably should have gone with that, gone with the other guy. And then of course, then you're looking, as far as like players and you're looking at like, dang, what do we have? Especially the receivers. Are we gonna, who's gonna throw me the ball? I don't know this guy. Well, some of them may know him. They know him, when he was at Maryland, and went over to Oregon State, and they probably didn't have the confidence that Norvell had.
Yeah, I mean, and to me it was funny because the overwhelming majority of the media in the ACC picked Florida State to win the conference, and I didn't, because and my reasoning was DJ Uiagalelei, when he was at Clemson, didn't get it done, and then went to Oregon State, and he did all right, but the Pac-12, in my opinion, was not as, it just hasn't been as dangerous, I guess, in recent history. And then him coming to Florida State, I was like, he doesn't know Mike Norvell. He hasn't been in this offense. He didn't do well in the ACC before. I'm not going to lean on this guy. I'm going to give a little edge to Cade Klubnik above him, and I picked Clemson to win the conference. I picked them to win the conference championship, and they did that. But I was not in the majority to say Clemson because people had written off Clemson. But my Clemson edge was Cade's been here for this is his third year there, and Dabo knows what he's got. Dabo knows who he is. Phil Maffa's back there in the backfield, and I picked Clemson to win the conference championship, and they did. But it's just interesting to me, Duke, because we see these things that happen and these decisions that are made and these placements, and we talked about it off the air, we're talking about it on the air now, of how teams are placed and what's happening. So, two-part question, do we add any more to the college football playoff? Do we go from 12 to 14 or 16, as we know that might be on the table? That's one. And then two is, kind of going back to the conference champion thing, how much do we value a conference championship?
Look, I mean, if Notre Dame is going to remain independent, still get in, how can you value, conference champions that much?
True.
Right? Or as much. And the same with, the at-large with Ohio State, just being, honest. So, you have to figure it out. I think you need to go back and, really, I think you should implement strength of schedule. I think that should, way more, in deciding. Expanding it, I don't know. It's never gonna be. It's never gonna be perfect. You're never gonna satisfy everybody, right?
Yeah.
We're just gonna be. It's always gonna. Even if you expand, it's gonna be. Oh, I hate it. Don't want to go back to no BCS format, or it's always gonna be something. I think just fixing this format and going along with coming with a consensus. Have everyone have a say in all the conferences have a say in how we want to go about this. Then the majority rules.
And we're here with Duke Pettijohn here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. talking about the college football playoff and his family's run through this with Ohio State as Riley gets set to be there at linebacker for the Buckeyes. And obviously Duke coming from Syracuse Orange history, and in my opinion, Syracuse Orange royalty. And I'm not just saying that because we're on the screen together and because we both have facial hair and we keep our hair short on the top. I'm not saying that, dude. So getting into there's a lot of different things on my mind here, but one of the things that sticks with me, and you talked about the fact that no one's going to be happy because someone's going to complain about something. There's 10 FBS conferences, NCAA Division I-A football. The SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 are still autonomy conferences. The Pac-12, arguably, right now is not, because their autonomy went away when the conference blew up. Maybe they get it back. Maybe there's a clause. Who knows? But the Pac-12 is trying to rebuild itself. We have the Mountain West, the MAC, the Sun Belt, Conference USA, and the American Athletic. This college football playoff expanded from 4 to 12 this year. The BCS only had 2. Boise State was never going to have a chance in the BCS, and they didn't. Cincinnati, of the American Conference USA, the Mountain West, the MAC, and the Sun Belt, the only team to ever make it out of there was the American when Cincinnati made it to the college football playoff and faced Alabama when Luke Fickell was their head coach. So my question to you is, if we've only seen Boise State once and Cincinnati once, with 12, with 14, with 16, with whatever they agree on, is there a path, and you talk about strength of schedule, is there a path for Conference USA, for the Mountain West, who's obviously going to change because they're losing Boise State, San Diego, like all their identifiers for the most part. So is the Mountain West, the MAC, the American, the Sun Belt, and Conference USA at 12, 14, or 16, do they have a hope and a prayer of having any representation even with the expanded playoff?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, that's another great question, and no, it's going to be, I mean, it's hard now, right, or impossible to still. They haven't, like, no, SMU has, evolved and grew their program to where they can get to anybody to the ACC, and they have the financial backing to get guys there. Yeah. I don't see any of those schools in Conference USA being able to do that. And that's what you need to do in this, in today's game. And it's just going to be extremely difficult for them to, make an impact to where they're competing for, to be in the playoffs.
So is there a world where my prediction that I don't want to come true comes true, Duke, where we have 3 tiers of Division I football? The FCS stays the FCS. They play their tournament. They do their thing. They have their bracket. But that the FBS splits into 2, and that we have SEC, Big Ten, Notre Dame, Tier 1, Tier 2, ACC, Big 12, American, Conference USA, Sun Belt, MAC, Mountain West, all of those grouped together, and then the FCS is there. So essentially, instead of having Division I-A and Division I-AA, which is FCS, we have Tier 1, 2, and 3, and outside of the SEC, Big Ten, and Notre Dame, which hold most of those names that are winning the championships and doing this, that the ACC and the Big 12 either goes to Tier 1, or if they lead Tier 2, and if the MAC and the Mountain West and all those conferences, if they're not going to ever have a path like you said, or it's going to be really, really difficult and treacherous path to get through, and it's not going to happen every year, do we see a splitting of the FBS where these schools that are frustrated and saying we're in these conferences that never have a path are just going to form our own bracket?
I think they should do that. Not 3, but 2. Go back to, I mean, it kind of used to be like that, Division I and I-AA. But I think there's a I think that'd be a cool path. So those schools can, participate in a national championship. Realistically, and I mean, this levels to everything, right? And it gets harder, high school, college, to the pro, and the teams get lesser.
Yeah.
So that can be the next iteration of college football. That there's a higher level of college football. And it's mostly financial based, and then you have your second tier of Division One football team that have the same format, but just a more likelihood of competing realistically for a national championship. Within the resources that they have, without breaking the bank, so to speak, to get one or two guys that really won't make an impact. You be able to be competitive, with the resources that you have to build a roster that's competitive, in your league.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so much that goes into it. You're seeing it through the journey of Riley that was totally different than yours. You didn't have NIL, you didn't have transfer portal. There was some realignment, but not to this, crazy money, buku bucks and TV and networks and all these things that are going on. How have you seen Riley go through this path? He was recruited by so many schools all over the country, one of the highest recruited student athletes out there coming out of high school. So seeing his journey and talking to these schools and all of these different places and nooks and crannies of America that wanted him, how have you experienced this as a family, knowing that it is vastly different than when you were recruited?
Well, as a family, how we just kept the main thing throughout the whole process. Making sure the academics were there, and that they were important, and the academic support, what have you. So he's successful there. Then from a football standpoint, making sure the culture is the culture, not just talked about.
Yes.
Live throughout the whole program, from head coach to administrative staff, and you hear those things through the conversations that you're having, and the consistency in those conversations. And then from a position coach standpoint, someone as a father that I'm comfortable with passing my son off there. Two, that's going to continue to develop him and pour into him as a young man, and place that's competitive. Nothing's given, everything's earned, and that's in the top four schools that he was deciding from. All had those. Then it just came down to him where he felt comfortable. Who he felt comfortable with. Head coach, DC to his position, and the guys that he's going to be playing with. So, and that's ultimately how we decided on Ohio State.
And for you, to see Riley go through this and make the decision, like you said, keep the main thing. Think about academics, which we need to hear more of and have it actually be real and not just speak. Academics, culture, community, to me, God and faith, that's something that
Absolutely.
should be important.
And that's huge there, man. You can see it, they kind of, went viral a few times, with their acts of faith and, sharing their faith with, unashamedly, with the world, on campus having a baptism. Just happened organically, from just the start with the players and expanding to the campus, and they're constantly sharing their faith and their dependence on God, and giving God all the glory, and just that's what our family is founded on, and to see that it's so unashamedly, man, it's just awesome to see. again, there's another reason why he we were so excited that he chose Ohio State. They live it.
And the thing is, I mean, and I love hearing that. And he's not, officially, he's not on the field with them, but y'all are on the field.
He's on the field, we know.
What'd you say?
Well, I mean, he's on the sideline, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like he's not, he's early enrollee, right? But he wasn't like there like this on the roster this season. But the Pettijohn family was treated like y'all were on the roster this season, like he was. I mean, like when somebody says we're a family, we're a culture, we love you, we're gonna be good to you, we're gonna be respectful to your family, and then to hear people say that, but then to have Ohio State say, come be on the sideline, come be like, I mean, the fact that he's, you're as a family, he's not on the roster yet, you're as a family not watching him there, so where they call and say, hey, family tickets and this and that, but the fact that he's committed, he's signed, he's going to Ohio State, and the Buckeye family at the school was already including you, already wanted you to be there, wanted you to be a part of this run in the national championship. What does that say about the school? What does it say about their culture and about who they are that you and your family and Riley were already considered in before he officially went in?
I mean, it says they live what they taught, what they preach. As a family, that's a buzzword. You hear a lot of teams say, the family, then you see, cracks and, fissures that, cause issues and backbiting and all that. And, it just shows that they prioritize family. And not just the team family, but, the players' families.
Yeah.
And and they care about it because they know it takes a village to raise a young man, and they actually do they vet families as well. Making sure we all have the same moral compass and ideals in raising our families. That's how they choose choose a kid as well. So they're not taking any and everybody at Ohio State, regardless of their talent, and that's how you build a culture and continuity in culture. Whether guys leave or stay, you don't see a mass exodus in the transfer portal. Guys going to try to get more money at another school because it means so much to them to be in Ohio State Buckeye.
Yeah, and you going through this journey, we talked about Tennessee. They had that game against number 1 seeded Oregon. I said Oregon was ripe for a loss. I didn't see them getting all the way and winning this thing the last time Ohio State played. And here's some interesting history. So Ohio State lost to Oregon with Oregon in their first season in the Big Ten from the Pac-12. They lost 32-31. But here's some crazy history. The college football playoff is 11 years old. Ohio State won the first college football playoff, defeating Oregon, and they've won the 11th. But here's where history gets really cool. Oregon has made it to the college football playoff twice. The team to knock them out of the college football playoff both times was Ohio State. When the BCS ended and the college football playoff began, that historic first college football playoff, Ohio State won it over Oregon. In the historic season of the first ever 12-team playoff in its expansion, Ohio State won. So in 11 years of the college football playoff, Ohio State has won the historic first college football playoff and the historic first 12-team college football playoff, and they're responsible for knocking out Oregon in both of those historic moments. Your thoughts?
It's interesting how it all comes full circle, and now you have a story that ties to that. That game was here in Dallas, and that was, and I took Riley and a couple of other teammates down to the CFP college experience, we're doing all the games and stuff. Pictures. So it's funny how just 11 years, 10 years later, now he's actually on. He was actually, well, we were at the game.
Yeah.
They played Oregon when they played Oregon for the second time and knocked them out. It's actually pretty cool. And I knew, as far as like Oregon went, it's tough going. You went undefeated, and then you have a bye, and your first game is the first time you face actual adversity. It's hard to overcome it. And when you haven't had any super close games to where you have to fight back and your team get tested. You get tested in the playoffs. It's tough to find out what type of team you are. At that point with a team that's coming off of a win already. So I kind of felt the same way as you that they were all going to make it.
Yeah, and it was an amazing run that they made from there. You and I were in the same location twice. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic in Arlington, Texas, when Ohio State took care of Texas. And by the way, and you could go back and look at the pictures, folks, there's dull orange on one side, there's red on the other side. Ohio State, I was like, okay, I think their fans will travel. I think Ohio State's probably going to have something to say about this game, even though it's not that far from Austin, where the Longhorns call home. But this stadium was like split, and they said if they had to guess, it was like right there, like almost split here. It wasn't like Texas 70% and here's some Ohio State. The fans showed up in droves. It was insane, and you know that. And then at the College Football Playoff National Championship in Atlanta, Georgia, I took a video of that, and there was a Red Sea parted a little bit by green, and then just so much more red through that building. And when Notre Dame did something, the fans cheered. It was loud. When Ohio State did something, the fans cheered and kind of shook the building. What can you say to the fact that Ohio State took over Texas and then they took over Atlanta?
And the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Like the Rose, I was surprised at that. Thinking, okay, Oregon was probably thinking here. But again, it was split like down the middle. I mean, it was probably like 50-50 almost there, and in the back and forth. But it's awesome, when your team is going to travel. Knowing that, like throughout the season, like, hey, whether we're on the road or at home, we're going to have our fan base there, rocking. So that energizes you more, going into those games. And this makes it for even much more exciting experience too.
And I got
they have an unbelievable fan base. They're crazy, but they support their Buckeyes.
I know that you're a Syracuse alum, but have you found yourself in any arena this year or a grocery store or somewhere where you see red coming towards you and you, OH, have you done that?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. Yeah. Look, man, so now, as a fan, I'm, I tell my friends, I cheer like I played too. So, I'm in on all the chants. If it's quiet, I'm doing the always going for sure.
So what is that? I mean, you wore vibrant orange at Syracuse. You are now wearing vibrant red for Ohio State. What has that dynamic been like? I mean, are you keeping an eye on Fran Brown and the crew? Are you all Ohio State? Where are you at?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My allegiance, but I didn't play Ohio State. My son does. Like I tell him, so you'll see me in Syracuse gear and Ohio State gear. When appropriate, you can't say anything. So, but yeah, of course, I'm orange through and through.
Before I let you go and before we play rapid fire here, to be there with not just Riley but your whole family, all of your kids, your wife, there's that awesome picture that you put up that I shared here with having you as a guest on the show today with the whole family, and you're holding up the sign and the newspaper, and everybody's enjoying, on the T-shirt, I should say, and just enjoying the moment. What was it like for you to do that with all of your children and with your wife, to walk on that field? Did you grab Riley and say, hey, this, hey man, like you chose the right spot. You can, this could be you someday. Did you and the family say a prayer? Did you and the family walk around and jump up and down and chant? I mean, what was the on the field experience that you had as a family? Because that is such a cool, it's a cool moment in the sense that you got to do it in general. And it's, to me, it's amazing that, like I said, Riley's not even playing yet, and y'all are already a part of the family. So how did you experience that?
Well, yeah, none of them were able to get down there except for like coaches, and so we had to meet them at the hotel. But seeing all the fans lined up waiting for them to come back and walking in, and it sounded like a stadium on like 3 levels.
Yeah.
Fans, cheering. It was crazy. But what I told them is, you're up next. Now you see how it feels. You got to see the journey leading up to this, and all that went into it.
Yeah.
And now you know what it takes, and you have opportunity to be a part of it. Like next year where you're contributing, and that you have that fuel to take you through the spring ball and summer camp, prepare you, so bring another one up.
I'm looking forward to talking with Riley again, but I want to ask you this, and I know you're going to shoot it straight with. I know you're his dad, but I also know that you talk ball and game is game. What should the world know about Riley as he gets set for his own journey in college football?
Oh man, dude, he's a special kid, man. Like, outside of his athletic ability, just his love of the game and his heart, tenacity, it's unmatched. And he's going to do some special things. He's super versatile, so he can play Mike, he'll run, inside run, play outside, rush. So I'm excited to actually see him develop as a pass rusher, because I know he's gonna get taller, and so that may be a potential position for him as well. But they're going to see. He's extremely disciplined, like focused on getting on the field and contributing, and showing how he measures up. He still has a chip on his shoulder. Feels like he's still overlooked and underappreciated. Not by Ohio State, but just other people, and whether it's true or not, let him go with it. So yeah, man, he's just a driven kid, man, and he's just ready to get out there and show Ohio State coaches what he can do. That he's going to be ready when he's called on. I'm excited.
That coming from Duke Pettijohn here. Syracuse defensive end, alum, and father of incoming Ohio State's athlete here. Linebacker could put his hands in the dirt as well. Riley Pettijohn on this college football playoff journey. We're going to get into rapid fire here. Duke, you can ask me anything in the world. We've done it before. What do you got for me?
What's your next vacation?
Well, my dad and I are actually, this has been years and years in the making, but my dad and I are actually planning to finally go back to one of the countries of our origin and to go back to Italy. Or to go to Italy, I should say. So we are planning. My dad's never been there. I've never been there. And we are actually planning out our Italy trip this weekend.
Oh, nice. What part? Italy?
So my family, my mom's side's from Calabria, my dad's side's from Naples. Some of them moved to Rome. So I know we want to go to Rome, and I know we want to go to Naples, to the area. I know Naples is like a region, but we found the area where our families believe to have been. So we're going to go there. And so we'll do some like back to the roots. We'll do some Rome. And
Yeah.
then we're thinking about, are we going to go anywhere else?
Yeah. I love Rome.
You said you love Rome?
Yeah, I've been in Rome and Florence.
Okay. Yeah, Florence was the other place that we were told to go to from my aunt, my uncle, my other parents, I call them. My question to you, Duke, so many people have an opinion of Ryan Day because, well, he's in the spotlight all the time. I've gotten to be around and interview him a few times. He looks me eye to eye, no matter who's in the room. I feel a genuineness from him, and I've appreciated my time with him. How would you describe Ryan Day?
I think it's a good dude. Very smart. Me and my wife joke with him like, man, like if you ever like run for office, man, figure because he's a genuine person, like shoot straight and just he at first, I had my opinions about him, first, when I hadn't met him. But after meeting him, he's a New England guy, and that same similar sense of humor, and his wife's like the same way. This is a good dude, man. I like him, and coincidentally, he actually was in the same class as my buddy, my good friend Miles Thomas. They were in the same recruiting class at UNH, and my other buddy, so my high school friend Annabella is married to his wide receiver from UNH. So it's a small world. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. What's your last question?
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I really like him.
Yeah, and I've appreciated,
and I trust him.
That's huge. Those 3 words, I trust him, because that's your kid. So to say that you trust a coach, especially in the craziness that has become today's world,
exactly.
that says a lot.
Exactly.
What's your last question for me, Duke?
Where do you see your show in 3 years?
My show in 3 years, man. So we've done a lot. We've gotten to build a lot. This is year 22 of broadcasting. I'm in year 13 of working for myself. Where do I see myself? I see building more relationships, making my world smaller. College football playoff is not just a college football. It's not just college football event. It's not just college athletic event. It's not just an American event. This is a universal, massive thing. This is like almost as big as, the big game in the NFL. So to me, to be at that already, I think, just growing. I mean, finding myself maybe at the NFL's big game. I've been to college basketball's final game. I've been to college football's final game. So, I think more going to new places. We've broadcasted coast to coast. We've reached people north to south, east to west, and around the globe already, but we have now officially broadcasted on the West Coast, and that was really cool to broadcast from San Diego. So to me, I think that where am I going to be in 3 years? Dude, I look at every single day like, what mountain can I climb up with God today? So 3 years down the road, to know more good people, to be surrounded by more good people, build more partnerships, create more opportunities for good people to feel heard and appreciated, and to spread the good word of God while being a big kid and putting our name out there and being in more places and having more opportunity that can allow me a platform to create positive change in this world, in sports and outside of sports, And I mean, really anywhere I go, you put me at a peewee event, a high school event, a college, a pro event, what I'm looking to do in the next 3 years, what I'm looking to do today is to, wherever I am, to bring God, to put him first, and to just build relationships with people, create opportunities, and not just see myself eat, but see everybody eat and be at a table with a bunch of people I can laugh with and really thank God for being at that table.
So,
My question back to you, Duke. We talked a little bit off the air, but what is the next chapter of Duke Pettijohn and what you want to do and where your passion lies?
yeah, like I said, I mentioned to you, going on this path with, Riley made me realize that my passion lies in football. So just taking these next few months to see where and how I can get back integrated into the football world. Probably, in college somewhere. And just first try on it. And see what opportunities out there that fit my my personality strengths.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. And if you need any help with that business model or building something up, I will do everything I can to, hopefully be a resource and help you out, because I want you to have that. I want to be able to talk with you a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now, and you're doing your thing and you're working with this team and you added this on and you're doing this and you really felt a passion in that, because passionate, honest, hardworking people who put God first and believe in themselves and their mission, you're going to, there's nothing you can't do. And you're going to find in this world, there's, like I told you, there's a million broadcasters, but nobody does it like me. If you're a liaison and you want to help players with, understanding NIL or understanding, what they need to do in this, or you want to help with like the recruiting process and be a bridge to people, there's never going to be somebody who is exactly you. And if you find that passion in that place for you, Duke, then the sky's the limit of who you can affect. And if you help one person, then it's 2, then it's 10, then it's 100. And now all of a sudden you got a working business where you're really creating an opportunity for people to feel welcome, to feel safe, to feel heard, and to just have something that maybe another family didn't have. So I'm excited to see what that's going to look like for you.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to it, man.
So Duke Pettijohn here, wearing orange, wearing red, showing love for Syracuse and showing love for the Buckeyes. Duke, I have never done this publicly on my show in over 21 years, but I'm going to do this in honor of you, in honor of Riley, in honor of my appreciation of Ohio State and the people that I've met, including Coach Day, their coordinators, Will Howard, Jack Sawyer, and Cody Simon. So this has never been done. This is history in the making right now, but I am going to do this for my love for you and my love for your family. So, OH.
Ayo.
There we go. All right, brother. Have a great day. Be safe.
Right,
and the next time that you and I are in a stadium together, can we make a phone call?
Let's link up, man. We can meet at a concession stand, man, somewhere.
All right. Well, listen, brother, thank you for your time. God bless to you and the family. Give my best to all the kids and to your wife, and thanks for being here as always.
All right, Dan. God bless, man. You have a good one, bud.
All right, take care. God bless, Duke. And coming from Duke Pettijohn one more time. First time I did OHIO on the show ever here on Wake Up Call. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after this. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9Campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315 487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5 with hockey, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, and so much more. Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. You never know what you're going to find at GG Cards and Breaks. That's why you got to go in there today, and you probably got to go back tomorrow and definitely next week to GG Cards and Breaks. So the only store that I know that has every NFL, every NBA, and every MLB team at all times right there for you. You can go and get your favorite team. So in my case, I'm an Arizona Diamondback, Jacksonville Jaguar, Toronto Raptor fan. What store am I going to find, especially in my hometown of Syracuse, New York, that's going to have the Raptors from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Arizona Diamondbacks from Phoenix, Arizona, and also have the Jacksonville Jaguars from Jacksonville, Florida? That place, GG Cards and Breaks, because they go the extra mile. Heck, they go the extra 10 miles for you, for the fan of the team, for the fan of that trading card game. They have so many different things: graded cards, singles, autograph cards, potential one-of-ones, rookie patch autos, packs and boxes for you to open to see what you're going to get. There's nothing like GG Cards and Breaks, and that's why I suggest to get yourself over there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5 to support local and support small business at GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. My sports card shop and trading card shop of choice. Let them know the DT sent you. With that being said, here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I want to thank you for being a part of the show today. I can't believe the show's already over. It went by so fast. And I want to thank Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, as well as having my exclusive Sunday. Don't let the cold weather fool you. The DT Dolphin is available year-round, and you can go and get it today. It is obviously not only my Sunday at Carvel DeWitt exclusively, but it also connects to my partnership with the Lemoyne College Dolphins as my wonderful Sunday. The DT Dolphin is green for the Dolphins, so it's mint chocolate chip, green colored ice cream, chocolate, and of course on top of that the hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. Go and get that today at Carvel DeWitt. Of course, lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. My acronym here that God helped me to come up with years ago. I wanted to have an acronym. I wanted it to be faith connected and have all a positive message. I wanted the word to be positive and the letters of each word to, or the letters of the word lead to have positive words themselves. So I wanted lead. I wanted that word to be a positive word, the acronym, and then I wanted each of the letters that make up lead to have its own word that had its own meaning that all came back together. God helped me to put this all together. I love creating things. I love being original and having ideas come together, and I can't thank God enough for the brainstorming that we always do. So Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver came to you from God and is proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Today's topic, on his time. Ironically, at the same time that Kevin Green sent me a message about God's timing, because God showed me today. How cool is that? We're talking about God's timing. I'm speaking about it. Kevin sent me a message about it, and so I'm talking about God's timing. His message is about God's timing, and the fact that it linked up that I was talking about it the day he sent me a message, and neither one of us knew that the other person was going to speak on God's timing, is a prime example of God's timing. So God's timing happened in God's timing conversation, and so just crazy how it all links up. Top Dog of the Week, honoring those people that think of you and reach out to you, text you, call you, come and see you, and just want to know how you're doing. Never forget those people, and just never put yourself in a situation where you don't appreciate the love and support of beautiful, wonderful people. So thank you to all of them. And in my life, my mom, my dad, Isaac, Paige, and the list goes on. God bless, and thank Donald. Thank you all. Top Dog of the Week from Canine Camp, Dog Daycare, and Canine Kampground. dog boarding, the only place you should be bringing your dog for short and long-term care. And of course, thanks to Duke Pettijohn, and really a thanks to Ohio State and how they treat the families of those that are coming in. I mean, Riley is not officially on the roster this season. He's coming in for this upcoming season. So he's not on the roster for 2024-25, and they're already included. They're already a part of it. So think about that. All of the players they have on the team and all of those families connecting and supporting them, and then supporting all the families of the incoming. How many that's over 100 families that you're showing love to. So shout out to Ryan Day and Ohio State and everybody involved that helped the Pettijohn family and hopefully other families feel so welcomed and so loved. I'm excited to see what Riley's going to do in college, and I always appreciate my time with Syracuse Orange defensive alum, Mr. Duke Pettijohn. So thanks to him. And of course, thanks to you for watching and listening on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and of course on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, where you can listen to internet streaming radio all over the world. And of course, once the shows go live, they hop into the archives, and you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube, among others. All you got to do is go to one of these platforms and search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Find us, like us, follow us for free, and you can connect with the show from wherever you are. And you could do it, as some have, in the air, on land, in the water, wherever you may be. Thank you for connecting to Wake Up Call. Big time thanks to Brooklyn Pickle down in North Carolina, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right by Pinehurst Golf Course. You will find the Brooklyn Pickle. We know them in Central New York. Now they're getting to know them in the nooks and crannies of North Carolina. And on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, I want to show some love and appreciation to the wonderful Brooklyn Pickle, overseen by Brian and the entire team there. I just want to thank everybody who has been a part of it. And Craig, thank you to all of the wonderful work by Brooklyn Pickle down in North Carolina. And of course, our partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servo-Mation, Ma and Pa's, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, you'll find Dolphin Time. Student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni hanging out with me on our wonderful broadcast of Wake Up Call in this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Lemoyne College. And, of course, you go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Lemoyne playlist. You also find your Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. And get out to the game tonight. Men's basketball team has a nighttime game against Central Connecticut State in conference in the NEC. We'll see you over at Ted Grant Court. God bless, and Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bobcats in the Bobcat Buzz every single month. With this season currently going on right now, men's and women's basketball, our men's basketball special is available to you right now. Go and check it out on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll find our BSC Syracuse playlist with over 70 episodes with the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats. So make sure you don't miss a moment, including our newest special that aired this week with the Bryan and Stratton Bobcats men's basketball team right here in Syracuse, off to their best start in program history. So I don't want to hear that there's no good basketball going on in Syracuse, because there is a fantastic men's basketball team at Bryan and Stratton, and the men's and women's teams have been fantastic throughout the years, making it to the national tournament. I don't want to take anything away from the women, because the women's team out there working hard, doing their thing, led by Tay Baker. So shout out to the women's team as well, and please go and support them. They're going to be on the road today in a doubleheader out at Cheney and they'll be back home soon. So you'll find it by going to our YouTube channel and that BSC Syracuse playlist. You'll also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. God bless and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Bearcats every single Tuesday during Bearcat Time. That Bearcat Time coming to you Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time weekly with student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories and the greater story of the Binghamton University Bearcat family. You will find all of this by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, you will find our Binghamton playlist on our YouTube channel. You'll also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com. God bless and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call, thank you to you for tuning in. Thanks to Duke Pettijohn, my fantastic guest. Thanks to my trio of signature segments. Annoying Moment of the Week from Carvel DeWitt. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver from Chick-fil-A Cicero. Top Dog of the Week from K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And, of course, our time with Duke Pettijohn. And looking forward to seeing Riley Pettijohn on the field for Ohio State as the Buckeyes move forward after winning their second college football playoff national championship in the 11 years of the college football playoff existence, and doing it in two historic seasons, the first season of the CFP and the first season of the expanded CFP. Shout out to Ohio State, and go Buckeyes, and much love and much appreciation, and God bless to y'all. So y'all proved me wrong. Good for you. I love it. So with that being said, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon. Stay safe and be well. Have a wonderful weekend.